Hello, how is everybody doing? Hello, hello. Who's around? Hey, hey. Hello. Hey, Narissa. Hey, Lisa. How you doing? Hey, Ola. Hello. Lita, how are you doing? How is everyone? Okay, how is everyone this Thursday? Hey, how you doing? Yeah? So we're just going to wait for a couple more people to turn up. Um, Today we're going to be talking to Ricardo Drue of Antigua. Have any of you guys been to Antigua? Oh my gosh, Antigua is so sweet. You know what? Antigua Carnival, it kind of feels like the hidden gem of kind of carnivals in the Caribbean. I think when most people kind of go to crop over and then they go to Grenada, okay, because crop over and Antigua are at the same time. Hey Jen, how you doing? um, I chose to kind of go to Antigua and then Spice Moss. And Antigua Carnival is nice. It's really really nice. You know, it is. It feels so authentic. It's still very very nice. They play live music. Um, it's just really really sweet carnival. So I'd really recommend it. I'd absolutely recommend it. What I would say is, yeah, check it out. But today we're going to talk to Ricardo Drue. Okay, he's of Antigua. He's from Antigua. No, definitely, Jen, you have to check it out. Um, he's won Soca Monarch 3 times, and he's been third in the International Soca Monarch in Trinidad. Right, and um, he's got hits like Vagabond, ID Nation, I Got You, all of those. You know, he's been doing really, really well. He's got an album coming up and a single coming out, coming Homesick. Hey, Coco T. And I wanted to know more about him, you know, because he's done something which is very, very different from the other artists in that he's made many stories, not made many stories, he's opened up his life on Team Jur in YouTube, okay? He's been so open. He gives stories about his life, about his mistakes, about his arrogance, about his humble eating humble pie, you know, about his ups and his lows. And that got me really, really intrigued because you know what, not many artists do so. So this is something I really, really kind of wanted to kind of ask him about. And I've attended his Jewish Day twice. And I really wanted to just kind of have a conversation with him and just see how it goes. Okay, so how about we start? How about we start? Let's see if I can request him. Um, I'm still very new to this. It's okay. Let's see. Still doing things. All right. Oy, oy, oy. Hey, straight boy, how you doing? Good to see you. Yes. Okay, he's here. Awesome. We're waiting, we're waiting, waiting. It's waiting a bit. Let's see how it goes. What am I doing? So I am speaking to Ricardo Drue. Okay, just waiting for him to see if he'll start. Yeah, just want to find out more about him from this and kind of Antigua Carnival, about his music, what the Antigua music sounds like, you know, all of this. He, yeah, he's done a lot. He's done a lot. When you think of Antigua Soca, you think of Burning Flames, there's Claudette Peters, Tian Winton, so many other people, you know, and yeah, I just wanted to kind of know more about what he does, how he does it, more about his kind of team soca kind of stories. So, hey, Semi, how you doing? You good? So just kind of wanted to find out a bit more about that, really. So we're just kind of waiting on him at the moment for him to kind of come on. Oh, he's able to join. Thank you. Let's see how it goes. Still waiting, still waiting. Not sure what's happening there. Hello. How are
Hey,
you?
what's up?
I'm good. I'm
Mic
good.
check. Can you hear me? Can you hear me good and well?
I can hear you good. I can hear you well.
All
Okay.
right.
Thank you
Yes,
so much.
yes. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. How are you doing? How's your day been?
Um, well, it's a bit rainy outside, so the day's been kind of gloomy, but inside we're good. We're full of life, we're full of energy and thankful.
That's good.
So,
That's good. And where are you at the moment? Are you in Florida? Are you in Antigua?
I am actually in Trinidad.
You're in Trinidad. Okay, so you're all over. Thank you so much for kind of joining this. And I guess I have so many questions for you. And I'm definitely going to get to homesick. I'm definitely going to get to kind of your Team Drew stories in a bit. But I guess I have to kind of ask you a bit more because I know you're born in Antigua, okay? Lived in Trinidad, been in America, okay? You seem to be kind of the Caribbean man. So what do you identify as? Because I know I always see you with an Antiguan flag, right? But that could be my assumption. So what do you identify yourself as?
No, I identify as Antiguan. I identify as Antiguan, and I definitely pay respect to Trinidad and America for for what I've learned, growing up in those areas and territories. But I identify as Antiguan.
Antigua, fantastic. I love Antigua. Been to Antigua twice. Attended your Drew's Day. I love it. But there's something about the Antiguan soca sound. Now, I'm not a musician, so I can't explain it. But just thinking about kind of burning flames and all these sounds, there's something a bit different about it. What do you think is
Right.
the difference?
Well, as far as the music is concerned, we're driven by the rhythm. Of course, the Burning Flames, they have what they call the devil rhythm that was very prominent throughout the years coming up. And then of course, we as a younger artists try to adapt to that and add our own little modern twist to it.
Hmm.
And then of course, in terms of like our songs, we like a lot of melodies, we like a lot of stories, but we also like a lot of chanting as well.
Nice.
So you'll find, and that's what you'll see in a lot of my songs like Professional and Vagabond and stuff like that. You'll get the kind of chant energy out of it. So our music is just fun overall, man. Like it allows you to just be you, be free.
Yeah, and I noticed that as well. And I noticed about Antigua Carnival. I think one of the things I liked about it so much is because it still feels very kind of authentic. It still feels very organic. People are not acting stush. There's live music and all of that kind of stuff. I absolutely love it. For me, like I was saying, it's still very special and it's still hidden. So, kind of for
Yeah.
you, what kind of makes Antigua Carnival special?
Just exactly what you said. We are a people that we're not afraid to be ourselves. We're not afraid to embarrass ourselves if we need to. If as long as we're having a good time. And we also want to make sure that the people around us have a good time. We love the music. We love our culture. We're very passionate about the things that we do and the things that we get involved in.
Mhm.
And we're just a good people, man. As I said, we just want to make sure that we enjoy life. We're a small island, so we try to enjoy every day to the best of our ability, and we just try to make sure that we give and we get.
And that's what I noticed. Antiguans are so, so friendly, The times when I had to come back from Carnival, people would just kind of give me a ride. They would say hello. It just felt really, really nice. Let's just put it that way. There was no time I felt threatened. So that was really, really fantastic. I want to come back. I want to come to your episodes because you've done something which I don't think many artists have done before. Okay, and I'm sure you've heard that many times since you've kind of done this. Man, you just put everything out there. You were just so open and so transparent. And it kind of felt like there was a theme. Every time you felt like you wanted to give up, that's when something good happened. So for Vagabond, when you just said, you know what, that's it, Vagabond came around. For Drew's Day, when it rained and rained and rained, and you're like, oh God, that's when it came out really, really nicely. And I'm wondering, is there something like that behind Homesick? Is there a backstory?
Um, it's crazy, but there is. There
Ah,
really is. Homesick is 4 years old. I actually bought the song 4 years ago. And for some reason, every time I try to create or put the song in a manner in which I could sell or in which I could feel it, it never worked out. I re-recorded the song about 4 times. The song was actually supposed to be featuring lyrical because he wrote some songs on it as well, some lyrics on it as well. Sorry, and then that didn't work out. So it was just like, okay, cool. We changed the production on it. That didn't work out. We went back to the old production. And then one day I was just sitting down and Sham called me, and Sham was like, song would work really good right now.
Yeah.
Homesick. And I was like, man, shut the hell up. And then I actually called my engineer, Nikolai from NMG, and we went and recorded it. And it's so crazy because when we were recording it at that point in time, it just felt right. It felt so right at the time, and then we put it out, and the rest has been history so far. And it's crazy because I was fighting to put that song out 4 years ago, and it just never happened.
So sometimes it's just all about the timing, really. And are you kind of happy with it at the moment?
I am. When we set this out to release Homesick, my expectations were low given the climate. I knew there were lots of people that, they don't want to be reminded about COVID and all these other things. But so I said to myself, we're going to take that hit at first. And people are going to say whatever they have to say, but we have to stay true to it. And I told Sham and Karma this. And it just so happened that what I expected didn't really happen. It actually surpassed my expectations. And it just seems like people are relating to the song a lot more than I expected, a lot quicker than I expected. So I'm grateful for that.
I like it. So let me go back to the Antiguan audience, because I've seen firsthand they're not easy. If they don't like you and they don't like your song, they will just they just but you rep Antigua wherever you go. I see the flag. You rep all the time. And I'm kind of wondering, you love Antigua. Do you think they love and respect you the same way?
Yes, I believe so. I believe that they are my core Antiguan supporters and Antiguans on a whole that can respect and love what I do, in understanding that it's for Antigua. And then of course, just like any other person, any other place, there are those who will be like, okay, nah, he's not, but I don't necessarily do it for that. I do it because that is where I was born. This is the place that actually, to be real honest with you, when I was ready to give up, it was Antigua that gave me that support and said, you know what, don't give up just yet. Even though Vagabond was a song, but Vagabond was done for Antigua, and the people of Antigua gave me the courage and the confidence to take it outside. And just as you said, they're a difficult crowd. Them being a difficult crowd is what taught me how to perform and to interact with crowds that might be a lot easier than they are, because at this point I've dealt with some of the toughest. So I always have to pay respect to Antigua, man, regardless if people like it or not.
Yeah, no, I love it. I put Drew's Day in the same kind of category as Marshall Montana Monday and Kings on the Rocks Tuesday. And I have to say, I love it. So much so, right, that I come in a week early. So I make sure I attend Drew's Day before the others. Because for me, my Antigua Carnival season is not complete without me attending Drew's Day, right? So what was the story behind that? What was the story behind Drew's Day?
Man, I just felt like it was time to do something that I wanted to do. It's not something that was controlled by a promoter. I love my promoters in Antigua. I love what they do. I respect what they do. But in another breath, they gotta do what they gotta do for their show, which doesn't revolve around me and my desires, my goals. So for me, I just wanted to do something where I could put on a show the way I felt it should be.
Okay.
That revolved, that could sing the catalog of music that I might have for Antigua, and just show people what I would love concerts to go to, or that direction in Antigua. And we did it on a Tuesday, so it was something new for Antigua. Like, he's gonna do a full-on concert, bringing all these artists on a Tuesday, like he's crazy. But we just decided, it's just to be different. It was time. That's what I felt.
And it works. It works. Is that something you see you'll be doing kind of for the foreseeable future? Because Marshall just finished one. He's been doing it for 10 years, huh? But he just finished it. Is this something you'd want to continue?
Of course, of course. I love nothing. I mean, even though it's stressful, and even though it makes me forget my birthday every year because it's on my birthday most times.
Yes, yes.
Um, I love it because again, it's my form of expression. It's like me creating a song and putting it out. I can create a song the way I want to create it. There's no one else involved. This is my vision. This is my direction. So, if for some reason Drews they change the format of the way things are done in Antigua, at least I know it was the way I wanted it to be done, and it wasn't controlled. And when I say I should really say us, me and my team.
And I'll come to your team as well because your team are very, very loyal. From your episodes, your past has not been easy. You've had ups, you've had downs. You know, you spoke about your arrogance in episode 2. You spoke about eating humble pie, and in I've seen in Antigua, you just chilling by the road on Carnival Road. You know, everyone says hello to you, say hello back. Everyone asks for pictures, you take that back. Do you think that you had to kind of go through that to kind of reach that humility?
You know, yes and no. I actually learned that from Claudette Peters. I came up under her when I went into Antigua. I came up under her,
Yeah.
and you know, just lying with her and just being around her, I realized that that's what she did. She would, you know, the common man, you know, she would be around. She wouldn't, you know, screen them or shun them or anything. She would always be inviting and embracing, and she would always smile and just show them love. And I realized that Claudette could have a hit, she could not have a hit, but one thing she always had was the love of the people.
Yeah.
And that was because she showed them that she was just like them. So that's where I got that from. And then the experience that I would have had in 2012 just made that even more of a challenge to do. Like I had to do it now.
Let's treat that madman. Okay, cool. Fantastic. And from your post, you know, if on Instagram, it kind of feels like God is very important to you. You're a very spiritual person. Your family is very important to you. In your episodes, you've spoken about your 5 children and everything else as well. Is that something again which is kind of has always been the case, or something which has kind of grown with you now? You know, you've gotten older, you're a bit more spiritual.
No, I've always been like that. It's just I think the older I've gotten is the more acceptance I've had for other things that I may not have accepted when I was younger, and it's the more open I've become to sharing it. You know, I've realized now that sometimes like a little post that I do every morning, I wake up, I put a post up, you know, of something spiritual, some encouragement, some positive, and for me, not only does it help me, but there's somebody outside that might need to hear it, might need to see it. So I've become a bit more expressive with that aspect of my life the older I've gotten.
I'm just kind of thinking about your posts. Like I said, they're really, really open. They're really open, you know. And you mentioned in your interview with Dr. J that your period of growth was last year, last past year. What has been the most period? What has been the area where you found your most growth?
Just understanding myself. Like I've really learned how to understand myself in this last year. You
How
know,
so?
because for example, I am an overdoer. So it's like I'm either on one side of the fence or I'm on the next side of the fence. And over the last year, I've realized that when I go that far, I let everything else on this side kind of just fall to the wayside, and vice versa. So now I've learned to really kind of put things into perspective and just kind of find a balance. Okay, I'm going to put 50% here, I'm going to put another 20% here, and just kind of balance it out in terms in order of my priority. Big up Arita, big up Trini Madvan, big up my moms, Della, big up yourself. But it's just finding a balance within myself. Like, you know, okay, if I want to do studio, I know I have to do studio. I know I have to do gym. I have to do family time. I have to just try to kind of balance it, because if I don't, everything is just going to fall through the cracks.
And is it hard to kind of get that balance or to kind of maintain that balance? Because there are a lot of things to juggle.
Yeah, it is definitely hard, especially when you're not in a position to actually physically do it. Like, for example, my sons are in Florida at this point.
Mm.
So how do you really find a balance to kind of, within everything else that you're doing in Trinidad? So it is difficult, and you have to be as creative as possible.
Mhm.
But yeah.
There it is. Okay. Thinking about kind of in episode, is it 7, the breakup song, and how everyone kind of misinterpreted that song, saying, oh, it's all about Patrice, and how you felt about all of that. And you mentioned that people who you felt had your back didn't, and how your team dwindled so much. Um, I'm wondering, has that made you a bit sour towards the soca industry? Are you kind of less trusting of people?
I can tell you, sour at the time I was sour, yes.
Mm.
But even when I was telling the story, I realized that maybe that happened for a reason. Maybe it happened so that I could see who was around me, who was real, who wasn't real.
Mm.
Um, so am I sour at the soca industry? No, because even if I was in the R&B, hip hop, whatever genre I would have been in, it still probably would have been the same thing. So
Mhm.
I'm not sour. I'm actually grateful for the lessons that I've learned. And I just take it as that, a lesson.
Okay, thank you. And I think was it in 2018? I think I interviewed your road manager at the time, Nikolai, and according to a couple of other people on your team, and they are so loyal and so protective of you. You know,
Right.
and because of your experiences, has that made you a bit more selective about the people you keep around you? Because boy, they can just fly anytime.
Yeah, yeah, no, most definitely, most definitely. I have learned that there are a couple types of people that come around. There are the people that actually just want something. They just want to get what they can get out of you. Then there are the people that want the best for you. And then there's the people that want what they want, but they're willing to provide what it is you need for them to get what they want. And I don't have a problem with that kind of person. Once you identify, look, I'm here to see how I can benefit, but I'm willing to put in that work. Once you identify that to me, I'm cool. I have to make a decision then. I know at least that's what you're doing. But it definitely has made me think about those people that are around me, the type of people I want around me, and just be a little skeptical as to what's going on, as loyalty is definitely a big factor for me, and I will bat for you. I don't care if it's 10 years from now, 20 years from now. Once you're batting for me, I'm batting for you.
Mhm. And how do you determine, Ricardo, how do you determine the people that are for you and the people that are not for you? Is that something you've learned kind of instinct now, or you still kind of thinking about, well,
Well, I how do I put this, man? Like, you just kind of, you can feel that energy. People ultimately, they show you who they are, and it's just for you to pay attention. If you're not paying attention, then you put yourself in a vulnerable space to either get screwed, or either to get away by the hairs on your behind. But for me, you have to pay attention to the people around you. Their actions will speak louder than their words every single time.
thank you. So I remember kind of you talking about soca music being happy music in your interview with Dr. J. And
Right.
there's so much happening around the world. It feels like it's a very sad time, a very angry time. And
Right.
I mean, you've been through some of that stuff as well. You spoke about being stopped by the police and all of that.
Yep.
And I'm wondering, do you think soca music has a place right now? Do you think it has a voice right now?
Of course. I when you okay, you said place and voice, which you asking me both.
What? Let's talk
I
about
I
both.
do I do believe soca music has a place. Big up Brandon, by the way. I do believe soca music has a place because at the time, with everything that's going on, we all need a release, and a great chunk of the time that's music. And music boils down to what I like. So if I love soca, soca is going to be my release, which I do, by the way. As that's going to be my release. So I believe, yes, soca does have a place. Does it have a voice? We can. We can have a voice. We can choose to be a voice. We can put our voices towards what's going on, and let it be heard that way. it's just not the norm for us.
Mm,
You know, our norm is to, of course, be happy and jump up in a party and this, but it doesn't have to be that way. For
mm,
example, Voice's song, Yeah for Love. That is a song that is a voice for what's going on. And there are a lot of other songs that maybe we haven't heard on the international forum
mm.
or on the grand scale. But we do have a voice. I do believe we do.
I like it. I like it. And just thinking about your voice and the voice of soca, a lot of artists, a lot of managers, producers, since Corona and COVID and lockdown, they've been changing their strategies to connect with their audience. Do you think that is something that will kind of be lasting once kind of the restrictions will be which will be taken over? What do you think? So will there be a lot of more conversations on Instagram? Will there be more virtual kind of dances? Do you think that's something that will last, or is it just for the now?
I do believe it's something that's going to last. I think this was a game changer for us all. Even if we go back to being outside and stuff, it's not going to be like it was before all of this happened. Like we talk about going outside, and if you speak to 10 people, you hear 5 people say, "Boy, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna stay my behind inside." And you hear another 3 people say, "Oh, I'm not sure," and you hear 2 people say, "You know what? I'm going outside for sure." So it's all over the place. And the numbers can vary from each situation, but for me, yes, it's going to be a situation where you'll find a lot of artists doing certain things, like because now our supporters, our fans, the people that are interested in the genre are now accustomed to that. So we can't just take it away. They're gonna be like, "Well, what the hell happened? Like, what's up with my Drue story? Like, come
Yeah.
on, like I felt like I connect with you." So we can't just take it away. So yeah, it's definitely going to be something that I think is going to continue.
Fantastic. And let's go back to your Team Drew stories. Is that something you're going to continue? Because me, I'm still curious. I'm feeling that there's a lot more you got to tell, you know?
Yeah, most definitely. I
Yeah.
can tell you for sure we have a season 2 coming up.
Okay.
And season 2, we had a cliffhanger in season 1 where in the breakup song that people keep asking me about. So we're gonna
Yes.
address that.
Right.
And then we have a couple other things that we're going to talk about, a couple other personal issues, like for example, me and my grandmother, we went through something really severe throughout my childhood years that I feel like there's so many people that might have went through that and are afraid to speak about it. So I'm going to talk about things like that. So to answer your question, yes, there is going to be another season, which is season 2, and that's in July.
And I guess I didn't really ask you, did I? Why did you do it? Why do you do those stories? What made you want to?
Well, as I would have said in Jay's interview, one day Jay told me, he asked me a question. He said, I can't remember exactly what the question was, but
Hmm.
the question started off with, "Drue, a lot of times we take your silence as guilt."
True.
And
Yeah.
out of
Yeah.
that whole interview, that is the only thing that stuck with me. I can't even tell you what the interview was about, but I
Hmm.
remember Jay told me that he felt like my silence was guilt.
Hmm.
And I remember telling myself, like I took it personally at that time. So I remember telling myself at that time, I need to tell my story so that I can prove myself.
Hmm.
So I can just prove to everybody that I'm not this person, or I'm not what you think, or whatever the case may be. So I did my first episode and I tested it out. So I tested it on something that happened in my career, which would have been the America's Got Talent story.
Yeah.
And the interaction that I had received from the people, the engagement, the people leaving comments, and just from the first episode, I was just like, well, that's crazy. So it went from, you know what, leave that alone. You know what, stop trying to prove to people, or stop having this mentality that you need to prove, and just get to know your audience, have your audience get to know you, and just tell stories about certain things. And in that, you can then tell 1 or 2 stories that people might have misinterpreted, or didn't really have all the facts. And that's what we did. We just put it in a forum where we can just get to know each other.
And I need to ask you, I mean, you have done so well. you consider yourself an Antiguan artist. What advice would you give to other artists who are kind of not from Trinidad, who kind of want to kind of make it in Trinidad, who just want to kind of blow up? What would you tell them?
Man, what would I tell them? I would tell them, one, that in order to break in Trinidad, you're definitely going to have to work hard. Trinidad is not an easy road. You're going to have to put in that work. And when I say put in that work, that means that you're going to have to put aside some time in your life to spend some time in Trinidad. And that's not like no 2 weeks. You go, you spend 2 months here and another month here, interact, you socialize with these DJs, you learn the program there, you learn what people like there, what they want to do, what they don't like. So you have to do your research and you have to understand. You also have to believe in yourself and believe in what you're selling. Okay. If you do not believe in yourself and what you're selling, then why should the person that you're selling it to buy it? And that's how I look at things as a stage. I look at stage as me getting an opportunity to sell my music to you, to sell my energy to you, to sell my performance to you. And if I don't sell it properly, especially in Trinidad, they're not going to accept it. They're not going to take it. They'll give you a chance, but they're not going to take it if you don't sell it properly.
And selling it properly, does that mean you have to kind of stay true to yourself, or do you have to tweak it to the Trinidadian audience?
I always believe staying true to yourself is more important, because if you tweak it to something that's not you'll get lost in a world that could kick you out tomorrow. You understand? Yeah. Especially in soca, we have this 12-year span, 12-month span, where we go, okay, the song was hot. Up December, start over. The race always starts over. So if you then turn yourself into something that they might want at that time and get consumed in that, when they change, you're still going to be caught here. So I always believe in kind of selling what you feel inside and taking that aspect of it. And you might tweak the music to what's going on at that point in time. You might tweak a lyric or two to what's going on at that time. But I believe, being true to yourself is important.
Fantastic. Just a couple more questions, and that's kind of it, really. I guess I'm kind of wondering, this lockdown has been long, a good couple of months. What have you kind of learned about yourself that you hadn't learned before, that you didn't know you gained more clarity about?
I learned about myself, and I would have to go back to the balance. I'd have to go back to balance. Balance is really important for me. If I don't have that balance, everything around me is just going to fall apart. I've also learned that I have a lot of great people around me. And sometimes it's very easy to get consumed in your frustration and very consumed in what's going on and in negativity, and forget that the people around you are going through that very same thing, especially those loyal people. So I've learned to appreciate and value the people around me even more now, especially those who have stuck around in this kind of time. What else have I learned? I learned that I am very emotional, even though I try not to be or pretend not to be. I'm one of those quiet, emotional people, I don't really express it, but I internalize a lot. And I also learned that that being me is what has got me where I am at. And being something that I'm not, or trying to be something I'm not, has also put me in holes that I had to take myself out of.
You mentioned that before loads of times. What did you try to be? Because you tried to be like a part of a boy band, try to be a dancer, kind of feel like you tried to do a lot of things.
So I'm gonna give you a little insight to one of the stories, and one of the stories for season 2, which is I Got You. Okay. I Got You was a song that of course would be me just telling the people around me, I appreciate you, thank you for having my back. Around that time is when everybody was attacking me with all these, stabs, like, I don't like you, I do this, you see, So you see all this facial hair and all these braids and stuff like that. That's
Right.
not me. You understand? That was me just trying to, okay, y'all think I'm a bad boy? Well, I'm just going to accept this role of
Okay.
being this bad boy. So I'm going to braid my hair and I mean, I got accustomed to it,
Right.
but it wasn't me. If you go back and look at my pictures, I'm always this clean, clean cut. I like to have my hair done in a certain way.
Mhm.
And after a while, I just went into a road of, okay, I'm just going to be rugged. I'm just going to be this rugged person. And that aspect, trying to be that, I didn't know how to. So
Okay.
like you see me retaliating in ways that maybe didn't make sense to me at the time, or it just like, he don't look like that type of person. Why is he behaving like that? So and that's what I mean, like doing those things.
Right. Right. Okay. 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 So, final question before we end this. What is the first thing you're gonna do once all restrictions are done? All of them. You can fly away. What's the first thing you're gonna do?
I am going to go see my sons in Florida.
Yeah.
That is the first thing I'm going to do. I
Because you've
had okay,
been calling and everything, haven't they?
yes, I haven't seen them since boy, since Carnival, the Sunday before Trinidad's Carnival. That
Woo!
Sunday, um, and they have been very patient with me. So that's the first thing I'm gonna do. Go see them.
A very long. Just one thing again. Do you have any problems with the kind of if they had to ask you to take a vaccine, take an injection for traveling? Would you do it?
Um, Man, it really depends. I'd have to do my research. I'm not just gonna jump up and say, okay, cool, I'm just gonna take this
Hmm.
because I mean there have been a lot of speculations, there's a lot of things going around that I
Hmm.
wouldn't just subject myself to that just because. But if it was something that I know is worthy of taking, and okay, we're gonna be healthy and it's not going to make me turn into a robot or something. Then yeah, I'll take it.
Awesome, Mr. Ricardo Drue. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you very, very much. Yeah,
Thank you
and
much, and I just want to tell everybody out there,
oh,
you can go ahead and check out the Homesick on my YouTube page, which is youtube.com Drew. You
yeah,
can also follow me on the social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter at It's Drew, and we also have the album which is called
when's that coming
Homesick.
out? When is that coming
It's
out?
coming out in the next week or so. You can look out for that, but we'll start pre-promotion for it as well, so you can look out for that as well.
Well, you heard it, guys, from Ricardo Drue. Please follow him. Please check out his stories. I mean, they're so open. Please just find out more about this artist. Okay. Thank you so much for
Thank
your
you. I
time.
appreciate that. Thank
Fantastic.
you.
Thank you. I love it. Okay, guys. So this was learning more about Mr. Ricardo Drue, and as always, he's very open. He's very honest. He seems very genuine with his answers. He's passionate about his family. He's passionate about his music, and he's passionate about kind of soca. Okay, please, please, please do follow him. Check out his Team Drue stories. Check out his music. Check out his kind of journey. Yeah, and I can't wait to see what he does next. He's the one with the curveball. So yeah, don't forget to follow Isle of Carnival. We probably will be having someone else next week. I think my time now is kind of on a Thursday. I kind of loving the Thursdays, and we always want to kind of connect with people. Oh, thank you. Connect with other people. And so, yeah, just kind of look out for us and see what we come up with, okay? Guys, have a good evening, have a good day, have a good morning, wherever you're kind of from. Have a good weekend, and hopefully we shall connect soon, all right? You take care.